inflation controls money. So controlling inflation is more important than controlling employment, since inflation is the driven factor.
Also, welcome back, Novus.
Yeah, sorry, my internet might just keep falling in and out. I'll try, but.
Oh.
No, I feel like this question is like only makes sense if you don't know a lot about the economy. Like else, it's like just like I said, like if you have too much inflation, your whole society is going down the drain, and then you don't have to care about unemployment anymore.
True, but if you don't care enough about inflation, and you focus all of your resources on, let's say, like unemployment, then what happens if like the dollar value of your currency tanks?
This is exactly what I mean. If you don't control your inflation, right, then you don't have to worry about unemployment anymore because it's gone anyway. There's no reason to work if tomorrow, like if you earn like $10 today per hour, and tomorrow you can't even buy bread with it, then it doesn't matter if you work, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, a listing of fake jobs rather than having a job to pay for your upkeeping. Okay, let's jump to the next one. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect their environment, they require regulation.
I agree with this one. If not strongly
I think,
agree.
I think I strongly agree.
Yeah, strongly agree, 200%. Are we all on the same boat on this one, guys?
I guess so.
I guess.
Amazing.
So.
Yeah. Very good.
I mean, it's. I feel like someone who isn't is a little bit naive, right?
Yeah, 200%.
Yeah. Of course, it doesn't requires for all corporations necessarily, but I think there's that safety net is.
But to be honest, it also doesn't matter, right? Like if you have those restrictions in place, then the company would like not hurt those restrictions anyway. Then there's no reason to not have those restrictions in place because
no harm, no foul.
Right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also quite interesting when you consider like if we put so much expensive regulation on it, and we companies like outsource the manufacturing to like Bangladesh, and they make our clothes and release the toxic waste into the water.
Sure. I mean, this is why we do it, right? This is why they're cheaper than we are.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, it's a flaw in the system as well. I mean, the harder we make it, they're just gonna go somewhere else.
My friend, you would call it the flaw. There are probably people around in this world that call this a blessing.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, anyone who's defending capitalism usually, like by necessitation of defending capitalism, has to defend inequalities like that as well, right? Or likely the problems that like are caused by that. So if you have a system designed around profits, then you're incentivizing people to make as much money as they can and keep making more money and stuff. It's only like it's actually not even just a byproduct, but it's almost like necessary that this would happen essentially.
Got to keep up the competition, right?
True.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Well, do you guys support it's rather jumping into a topic, but do you guys support capitalism, or how do you guys feel about it? By myself, I think I've supported, but as I said, like some kind of regulated capitalistic society. Yeah, what's your?
I'm going to use the new word the new phrase that I found yesterday, where it was the stakeholder capitalism. I vibe with that so hard. I cannot. I cannot not vibe with that. I think it is like, I would say like the best of both worlds in my opinion.
Might have to explain that. I don't know what you mean.
Elaborate.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just quickly bring up like what stakeholder capitalism is essentially. So stakeholder capitalism is the idea that companies should look to serve all stakeholders, and not just shareholders, but like customers, employees, suppliers, local communities, where each part of the process gets an equal share of the pie. Whereas we live in a very much so shareholder capitalism where our shareholders mean everything. If our shareholders aren't happy, then the company isn't making money, which definitely isn't the case. Like, we can all agree that that's not the case. Like, you need people to promote your product, you need people to sell your product, you need people to stock your product, you need people to supply your product, and of course you need people to buy your product, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so if any of those 5 things are disrupted, so for example, say you work at a retail store and you work in very shitty conditions, it's not very likely that you're going to want to support that job and like really care about the product that you're selling. And when people come in, you know, how likely are you to offer that product to them, given the fact that you work in like a shitty environment and you're like, hey, if the company doesn't care about me, why should I care about the company?
True.
Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah, of course. It's like a ladder. If someone falls down,
the
the whole
Yeah.
shit goes down, basically. Yeah, that's a fine idea, I guess.
Isn't it very similar to a system where the worker has co-ownership to the company?
It is
Yeah,
kind of
which
similar,
I
isn't
also I also fuck with that super hard too, because
Isn't that like a
what's
very core principle of communism in
it?
general?
That's socialism.
Yeah.
Socialism is the
Yeah,
workers own the
precisely.
means of
I mean,
production.
and I don't
I mean,
see
it's a
anything wrong
Kantish
with
idea,
that.
right?
Yeah, no,
But why though?
I could see that working out. But I tend to see that like striving capitalistic companies, especially
Mhm.
now in the modern days where environment and every aspect it has become more important, just the price. Though that will kind of self-regulate in a higher scale than before. Like we have this clothing brand in Sweden where their low price is good environment